Hey, what's up, guys? I'm just going to go through some of the predictive analysis from Trade Confident. And so, just quickly, they've somehow, I don't know what's going on with their system, but it used to be that these were live and like I could mouse over and you could see the exact price and where's that live, right? Like, I don't know what's happening. So now I have to click and then it just spits out a PDF. So it's still cool that not as full as what it was live. Anyhow, apparently they're working on it. So I'm going to start with just the straight up 11-year average price prediction for the vendor. And I mean, it basically means to drop to that, right? They took every November and every day of every November and somehow put it to their system, and then it's now given this projected average. So it's interesting that first of all, we're on the lower end already, and this average, and this was as of November 3, this then updates every 24 hours. So I don't believe it's ticked over yet and hit at the time. So anyhow, this is November 3, and yeah, and we're down around, whatever that is, 68, yeah, mid 68,000. But yeah, I mean, what this indicates is that we should actually start reeling up in the next few days. It's quite interesting. But then it shows a drop period and then further drop, but only back down to the same levels later in the month. Yeah, the last week, basically. So that's just the straight 11 years average without any other parameters. Right. So then now we'll go into, we have the same data, but then they've also got some other metrics here. And lifetime is the most interesting here is the 4 years. So what this means is that this is only using the data of the equivalent year and the previous cycles, meaning halving years, like what we're in right now. So as you can see, with the having the 4 year cycle average indicates that we can, I mean, it's the most bullish, obviously, because they using having years, right? And say, yeah, this is pretty wild because it's indicating that we could be up to close to 150 by the end of the year. And you know how feasible that is. Then you have this normal trajectory is the one that similar to the this one. It's just like nothing but on loving your average. And so that one would indicate that we were up somewhere again, based on these and press to 80, I suppose. And then we have some other averages and whatnot. And so I think this 10-year divided by what they had. So I believe that 10-year over the 4-year average, like, they haven't really explained it on their website. So I'm just trying to interpret it as to what I understand that either when it looks like is, and I think that's supposed to say letting you. So it's like it took this data, or should I say the blue line, and they somehow blended that into the clock that we are also in in a having year. So then it's not quite as wide, that it's still pretty bullish. And that would leave us on like 120 or so at the end of the year. It's where we would love to see that, of course. Then you got this other polynomial average, which would indicate also close to 100. The crazy thing here is that based on these predictions, which is wild because it's not an opinion, these are data driven. It shows though the worst case scenario here was that in 3 years, 2024, it should be above 75, and probably close to 80K. That's based on this. Then we have the plus or minus 8% deviation of the standard projected. And so, I mean, of course, the elephant in the room is that it was totally off for the like earlier in this year, right? But it has kind of normalized to like a reading, it's like the magnet. In the beginning, looked like it was on track, and then boom, it went totally out off the scale here and stayed that way for months, which actually, this is interesting because it was still way higher than this thing ever projected, and people were bearish, right? So anyhow, now it has come back into the mean, and it seems to be playing, more or less. Yeah, and the interesting thing is, and you could use this to take longs. If you enter If we're ever below the green, that's essentially your lungs. So anyway, yeah, this is indicating that once again, we are at the lower end, potentially are due to come back up here over 70. Yeah, it's obviously it's not an easy way to predict because you've got this straight up average of 11 years. You've got this including the halving year, then you got the average of that. And then we got the plus or minus 8% deviation here. We also have the plus or minus 4% deviation, which shows that we are below once again. So yeah, I mean, I'm very glad that I lounged around this area. And then, according to this, pretty wild again. On the 8%, minus 8%, it does show that we could still hit the mid 60s. But that's saying that that's saying that would be too also to be end in November. This is still a 67-ish on here. Whereas in Wiz has had a different deal. It looks like we could come down. Anyway, yeah. It's just very interesting to see all these different metrics with the plus or minus 8, plus or minus 4, showing us that we're at the lower end. And then I think there's still one here. This is just taking all of the above and showing it on one chart. So this is indicating that as of the halving year average, we should be starting a new uptrend right now. Like this is the fourth. So it'll be very interesting we did that. But one of these really point to much downside. It's a more point. The projected total average would take us down to still 68 or so. I mean, the polynomial average, which seems to just be like a smooth average of all of these, shows a nice gradual uptrend, must grind out and ending the month over 75K. Whereas the 4-year one has a violent move up in around 24th, a pretty decent drop, but still, if this is right, then we get up to 83 or so and then drop back down to 77 or so. That would be insane. So this will be very interesting to review as time goes through the month, because this thing is, this especially for me, it's only released in the beginning on the 2nd of the month. I do look forward and I really do hope that this thing becomes live again, because it's obviously a lot cooler and precise to be able to mouse over and you see the data points. But hey, it's still cool that we even have any of this, And either way, none of it looks bad. One of these, I think none of it really points to below 65. All of them need this. That's this plus or minus 8%. Oh no, sorry, we're here. Yeah. So even this doesn't bring us much lower than 65. And then, so, I mean, obviously anything can happen, but I mean, this is statistics. And showing probabilities that there's a very slim chance that we even get down to 65. If we do, that's likely the bottom. While I have it there, let's take it also particularly interesting. Yeah. Okay. What I wanted to look at and what I'm waiting for is, this is the fixed range volume profile. I wanted to look at this. So if it does come down and revisit, which very likely, that would be a nice retest of around 50 on the RSI, and what would still indicate we're in a very bullish structure on the daily. So yeah, I mean, if you remember last week, I was taking time between, and these were all around 30 days. Exact 3 days would take us to 12. Something, which is next Tuesday. Now, one very interesting. I mean, again, this is just based on the recent trends. Might even be here as well. Yeah. So that's a very interesting trend, It's not something, they don't always have to follow, but it can keep. So if this ends up, let's see if there's any on here as well. Maybe, so that could be the low of whatever it is. Let's see, can't tell here with the base, which is another reason why I like that I used to have live in Florida, show you a these look like more like the end. But I don't know, this could be, this little dip here, it could be this. So, though it's not my complete Motto update, but I just wanted to show you the predictive updates. Look at stocks, here we go. I've had a buy order down and see how it necessarily period could keep dropping. I want to say that the 50 EMA would potentially be where, I think that's where, cheaply buy order somewhere around. Okay, yeah. Yeah, I have a buyer somewhere around here. It might already been he cheaply better had conviction. And on the daily, this indicates that this could be a trend line. Anyway, I'm going to stop the video there before it gets too long. I hope you guys enjoyed it.